Alright, so I got the coyote now. It's been in the pickling bath for 3 days now, and now it's time to rinse it off. I get it ready for the tanning process. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is just drain all the excess pickling out of this coyote right now. Try to get it all out. And then I'm just going to rinse it in some cold water for now. And yeah, squeeze it out. Oh, got a little hole there. Here's a close-up of the finished product. So it seems pretty good. Little stitch mark there. But such is life. I'm going to weigh out my baking soda. What I'm going to be needing is 12 ounces for 4 gallons. And that should be about right. So I'm going to fill up a pail full of clean cold water. Add my baking soda, stir it up, and then what we're going to be doing is soaking the coyote in the baking soda solution for 20 minutes just to neutralize the acid. Alright, now that the baking soda is all mixed up, so it's 3 ounces to every gallon of water, and I'm just going to stick the coyote in there, and I'm going to let it sit in here for probably around 20 minutes just to neutralize those acids. Alright, so the hide's been in the baking powder, or baking soda, sorry, baking soda solution for 20 minutes. And I'm getting this guy out of here, and I'm going to squeeze out all the water, and then I'm going to hang it to dry. Just make sure you get all the water out. So I'll be hanging this to dry as long as I can, probably about a half an hour. Yeah, the hide smells a lot better than it did. Okay, after rinsing out the coyote from the baking soda solution, I'm just going to add the coyote back to some clean water, and then I'm going to add a little bit of Dawn to it, and I'm going to give it a good washing. And then I'll just this will be the final wash that I'm doing on this. Hey Abigail, you want to help wash? This will be the final washing. You sure you don't want to get in there? It's fun, try it.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
No, I just fed the fish.
You just fed the fish? Okay. You're not into it? Sounds good.
I'm gonna go feed the fish, I said.
Oh, you have to go feed the fish? Okay, well go feed the fish in the pond. Alright, so this is the final wash. It does smell a lot better. I'm just going to let this guy soak for a little while longer, just to be able to get all the blood, a little bit of dirt that's left remaining. You see all this debris, there's still some kicking around in there, so this soap should probably do the trick. So all those little thorns and everything like that, right? Alright, then I'm just going to rinse this after the washing, and then I'm going to hang it to dry, and I'll take you through that as well. Alright, so I'm just going to be doing my final rinse, just plain tap water, just to rinse out all the soap. So I'm just going to give it a good rinsing, and then I'm going to drain it out real good as well. Do you want to rinse it, Abigail? Give it a rinse. Yeah, get in there, buddy. Good work. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, get to the bottom if you can. Alright. with the final rinsing, I'm just going to wring this coyote out really well. And then I'm going to snap it just to make sure all of the fur is dry, fairly dry. And then I'm going to hang it up, let it drain some more, and then I'm going to turn it inside out. And then I'll put it on the stretcher to dry for a little bit before I add the neat's feed oil. Right now I'm just going to flip this coyote inside out. So it's been draining for about 20-30 minutes, just so get most of the water out from the final rinsing. And so then I'm going to put it on the stretcher and just form the coyote around it, let it hang until it slightly dries out a bit. And then I'm going to apply the neat's feed oil to it, and then start the process of breaking it in. Alright, so I'm going to mix up the neat's feed oil. And here's the product right here. Hopefully it comes in the camera. It's 100% pure neat's feed oil. So I'm going to mix up a half a cup of neat's foot. Okay, this is cold right now. And I'm going to do equal parts neat's foot oil and water. This is hot water. Not boiling, but hot enough. Maybe pour it properly. Okay, so we got equal parts right now. Okay, and then what we got to do is add 1.5 teaspoons, okay, of Dawn liquid detergent. This helps both these two ingredients, the neat's foot oil and the water, to bind together, so it becomes like a permanent emulsion. Okay, or else it just won't incorporate together. See, look at that. All the bubbles are disappearing and it's becoming milky. So now it's a permanent emulsion. I just got to add another half teaspoon. That's about half. Okay, so now it's nice and milky. So instead of going to Cabela's and buying some other product, this is a little bit easier, because like I said previous in a video, is I live in a smaller community, so we don't have a Cabela's or anything like that, but we do have quite a few saddlery shops, farm shops, stuff like that, so this is a lot easier. So I'm just going to mix this up a little bit more and get it ready for putting on the hide. Alright, I just have this coyote put on these plastic garbage bags here, and I'm just going to start adding the neat's feed oil. And I'm just going to now just rub it in. Alright, so I'm going to liberally rub this on to the coyote, both sides, ears, face, and let all this oil absorb into the hide. Okay? And once the oil has absorbed into the hide and it starts to kind of get a little bit dry, there's going to be dry spots in here. And once it's all dry, I'm going to start working on the beam, the fleshing beam. I'm going to start breaking it. So I got to break those fibers. So there's going to be some spots that aren't dry and some spots that are dry, but I'm going to have to break those dry spots and just not the wet spots. Alright, so what I did last night was I turned the coyote fur side out, okay, let the oil sink into the fur and penetrate. At the same time, it allowed the fur to dry as well, right? So when I got up this morning, around 4 o'clock in the morning, I turned it first side in and let it dry. So while I was at work, it was drying away, and I came home. Now you can see it's all dried out. There's certain areas it is wet, see, like under the arm, at the bottom too, because as the fur was draining, right, it would just drain to the lowest point. So it's still pretty wet right here, so I'm not going to be breaking or stretching this area right here. So right now I'm just in the process of breaking this pelt here. So stretching it, rolling it across the fleshing beam. You see when you pull it, it gets a lot wider, right? And I'm just going to continue to do this. It's going to be quite the process, but it is what it is. I have a little bit of fur coming out right here. Looks like I missed a little spot. So I just got to watch and be careful that I don't pull too much fur out in the process. And just work it. You can work this on anything. Some people I see have, you know, 2x4 rounded down, and they just stretch it that way, which is probably not a bad idea. I just haven't got around to doing anything like that at the present time. But who knows in the future. But yeah, so I'm just going to continue to work at this until it's nice and soft and pliable. And I'm going to be putting it on the stretcher again overnight, hide side out, and let it dry some more. Then when I get back from work tomorrow, I'm just going to continue this process. Hopefully when I get back from work tomorrow, it's not going to be too dry, right? Because then I'll have to reapply warm water and more neatseed oil, and I don't want to have to do that. So tonight I'm going to try to work this as hard as I can, so I don't have too hard of a pelt. But all right, this is day 2 of the drying process. So right now I'm just continuing to stretch the coyote, just breaking those fibers. So you can see when you stretch it, you can see it change color a little bit. Let's see if I can get a spot here. And right there, you can see it start to just change. And just keep on stretching it. Stretch it by hand a little bit. You can also just take it on the edge as well, like we did yesterday, and just really give it a good workout. But by hand probably will do the trick. It gets at those little spots that you wouldn't be able to get on the fleshing beam. And I'm just going to work these again today. Pelt itself, I turned it pelt side out last night before I went to bed, and just to dry out that fur. It's still damp. It's raining right now, so for the last 2 days it's been raining, so the humidity is really high. So it's going to take a little bit longer. Today I'll probably just maybe put a fan on it with the fur side out, just to speed up the drying process of the pelt itself. I don't want to necessarily speed up the process of the hide, but at least the pelt, just to get that moisture out a little bit. But at least it's allowing me to still go to work, you know, and not have to worry about it drying too fast, and then I have to re-wet it, then re-oil it. So it's kind of nice that way. I have another coyote that I just put up again last night. Just took it out of the brine, and it's still wet. It shouldn't have been that wet, but the humidity is really high, so it's going to take a little bit longer than I would like to dry, but that's okay. It works out. I'm in the middle of my work week right now, so it's kind of nice not having to stretch out too 2 of these hides tonight, so call me lazy. Alright, well, I'll take you to the next day. So probably another day or 2 this should be done. And I don't have to put that much work in today. I'll probably do this for maybe half an hour. Yeah, about a half an hour, and should do the trick.